What's up, everybody? Sean McGregor, No Code STR here. David Dodge had a question in the Facebook group asking if there's any way to essentially automate creating door codes instead of having to go through remote lock or something like that. Again, the whole point is automate the annoying. That's obviously annoying to everybody that runs short-term rentals. So he had actually mentioned to me previously in a message about Seam. I looked into it after he asked the question today in Facebook. They have an actual thing where it says like Hospitable uses Seam. So I dug in a little bit, and using no code tools that I'll show you in a second, I think I've cracked it to where for almost $0, you can automate all of your door messages and delete them after someone's stay and update your Airtable base in the meantime. So let's check it out. Okay, so here is the Seam website, seam.co, and you can see control any IoT device is kind of their whole promise. And they have thermostats, they have door locks. This is going to be related to just the Schlage code, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of possibilities because you can see a Nest there, an Echo Bee, and other things like that. But let's just, to make sure it actually works, let's test it real quick. I'm in Hospitable right now. I'm going to make these dates available. I have cousins staying there. And what I'm going to do, I already have the Zap turned on. So you can see the Zap here. I want to, when a new record hits Airtable, create access code with start date and end date in Seam, and then update the Airtable record. So let's start out by actually creating a booking. I'm going to say July 11th, 13th. We're going to add a booking. Manual booking. And I'll just put my email in there. Okay, so this is important. We'll do 8, 4, 6, 5. I don't know. But the last 4 is what's going to trigger this. So that's why it's important. 2 guests, we'll put $0. Seam test. So I'm going to create a booking right now. And we're going to go over here. This is the Barton swap lock. You can see the only other access code I have right now is the one that I created as a test earlier. So what we're going to do is now go here. This is kind of a live thing. I'm going to create booking. You can see, boom, no code is staying from the 11th today to the 13th. And so what should happen is in just a second, no code is going to enter here. And this is an Airtable. And I have Seam's today check-ins. And I have this set up to where it's filtered by check-in date. And check-in date is today. So in a second, boom, there you go. No code is staying at Barton Swap Type 2. You saw that it happened like 10 seconds later. So has door code been set? Nothing's here, nothing's here. But look, I have the properties set up. Okay, so I have it set up where automatically door lock ID is pulled in from the properties table. I almost showed that, but I don't want to expose any information. And I have the door lock start time automatically generated, and it's today's date at 11 a.m. I have a 4 p.m. normal check-in time, but it just created an early one. And then at 2 p.m. end time on the checkout day, which is the 13th. So you can see 11th and 13th. And you'll notice a second ago, this was empty and this was empty. But in the Zap, I have it to where it'll update the record in Airtable with the door code if it's correctly, created. So 3163 is the door code. Let's go back over here to Seam. And you'll see 3163, it's setting right now. I bet if I refresh it, go to access codes, boom, 3163, July 11th, 11 a.m., July 13th, 2 p.m. So boom, we just got remote locked. And from this, we can also make it to where on the last day, it automatically deletes this. I mean, already it's not going to work after that period of time. We can set it to where, you can override the time in case someone has late checkout, etc., or they're going to come in earlier. We can set up that. One thing I'll show you, though, how I created this. It's an Airtable formula. I wanted to ChatGPT, and I said, need some help creating an Airtable formula, check-in, check-out date, and I just said, Airtable formula where on the date of arrival at 11 a.m. Central, checkout, I want checkout date, 2 p.m., and I told it what I want the names to be. It created a formula. First time I tried it, it didn't work perfectly because it was doing like GMT time, but I told it that, hey, it's actually saying, blah, 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 6 a.m. instead of 11 a.m. Then I gave you the new formulas here, and I put these in, and then it created it correctly. And so as you can see, boom, 11 a.m., 2 p.m., Central Time, what this whole Airtable base is, configured for. All right, so file this under a bug that might actually be a feature. When I was putting in the code, it started with an 8, and I just now noticed that, it's 3163. I don't think that was the number I told it. Well, apparently, Hospitable didn't push the phone number through for this reservation. I don't know if I didn't put enough numbers. I'll check that. But you can see no mobile number here. Therefore, in Airtable, it didn't get a mobile number. So that's interesting. Good to know. Also good to know, and again, bug that might be a feature, it actually created its own door code, and it still put it in here. So even though it's not the last 4 of their cell, it created the door code, and it put it in here, and set it to yes. So that means if for whatever reason this doesn't work, they're still getting a door code set for them properly. And then any of the messages that I send to the guest on check-in day automatically pull in this number anyway. So it would have actually worked for them and been correct. You can see, here's the Zap. I looked at the Zap run, success. And here, that's blank. This is blank. And then it set 3163 on its own. So it wasn't supposed to go this way, but I figured I'd go ahead and be honest and show you all that it didn't work perfectly, but it actually worked, and it's actually a good thing, because if for whatever reason it doesn't work exactly right, then it'll still generate a code. And what I would do now in this Zap is I would add something here to say only continue if cell phone field is filled in, and that way this could never happen again. So it's a good thing to learn. Okay, so it didn't work perfectly, but it's actually better now, because now we know that it's always going to work. It's always going to be a backup using Seam. So a door code will be generated, plus you can still have it in your Airtable base automatically, which will then send the text to the guest properly, or the message, however you want, properly. So here's what happens now. Anytime someone enters Seam today's check-ins, so this view, I always put a stop sign to where I know that that's like an Airtable view or a Zapier view, not to mess with it, because like automations are based off of it. But real simple, just check-in is today. So anytime someone books, no matter what, they go in here, a door code is going to be set, and I'll eventually hook up all my different locks to Seam, and I'll link the actual lock name one time on the property, and then every single booking that happens will be run off this one Zap, and will be the right door code and the right door lock will be set. So pretty epic there. But first step, new record goes there. Then there is a phone number. If that's true, and you just set that up with like the last 4 of a cell exist, then create the door code and name, last 4 of cell, and then this is the information that's pulled in automatically with the time. Here's the door code. Then update the record in Airtable. Same thing, automatic puts door code. Yes, here. If there's not one, create random door code. So it'll go in here. I still have the last 4 to sell there just in case, but just like we saw, it'll automatically just, if there's nothing there, it won't put anything there, and then it'll generate a code on its own. So then it'll update with a record, and it updates from this step 7, create random door code. So whatever's there will be put in here. Door code been set, yes. And then the final step now, send message in open phone. I have my automated text line through open phone to my guest line. So my team gets this message, and it'll say no phone number was found for this particular guest. The door code set was, and we'll tell them what the door code was. That way they know to go in there and add the actual phone number, so any messages that need to be sent go through correctly. But there's already a door code that's set. They can go in and decide to change it to the last 4 of the cell phone to be easier for the guest. But worst case scenario, if for whatever reason no one's been in the ship, they're still getting a door code, they're still getting a notification, and it's all taken care of. So anyway, I'll also figure out the webhook thing with Hospitable and see why that doesn't work with the ad booking and get them to fix that. But again, who's to say if it's bad or good? This is actually something that I wouldn't have known that it creates a random code if it worked perfectly. So now we know that it'll work no matter what. Let me know what you think are some new ways of using this. I'm sure we can automatically tell whenever someone uses the code for the first time. Maybe we can get a text message or alert our team saying, hey, the guest, and give their actual name, has checked into blah, blah, blah house. So then like 10 minutes later, an automated message can go out to them saying, hey, Jim, saw you, or, just wanted to see if you got in okay. Let me know if you need anything. And that way, right after they walk in, they're getting a message with us checking in on them. If there's something, then we don't have to wait till the next morning to solve the problem. We can do it right away. So anyway, I'm excited about this. Good call out, David Dodge. Yeah, excited to see what this can do, especially when you think about adding in thermostats and cameras and whatever else. Seam is the actual company. Again, I never used it until about an hour and a half ago, but seems very cool. It has all these different connections already. So Schlage, Quickset, Yale, August, a lot of the popular ones. And yeah, the pricing I'll link, but I feel like it's much cheaper. I mean, it'd be much cheaper than anything you're paying with, here we go. So you get it free up to 10 devices. And then I'll check and see what it is after 10 devices. But, if you have just a few homes, you're getting this for free now. And, 10 devices, that's not nothing. If you have 10 homes, then this automatically happens for free, or 5 homes, 5 thermostats. Pretty good deal. I'll find out what the actual pricing is, and I'll update that. But anyway, again, David, thanks for the input. Thanks for the idea. Looks like we make it work, and we'll keep enhancing it from here. I'll test it out over the next week or so, and then, we'll roll it into the course. So appreciate it, y'all. Thank you. All right, so just to show you access codes, no code, and I don't know why it puts in like whatever random numbers, but normally it would have said no code and then the phone number last 4. But you can see 3163, notify me when it's used, it's off, but there's the schedule set correctly, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. So that all works correctly. Again, I'll just add a filter step in the Zap to where it can't go wrong with that in the future. But I also messaged my cousin who's staying there. Test one more, still at the home 3163, and then she told me it worked. So, and I've done this one before. Like, test now on automation, see if it works. Plays music to my ears when it works. So it did create the code correctly. I just need to figure out the little filter for the Zap but I'll work on that right now and then get you the updated kind of flow of how it all worked. 1 second. Thanks.